有一个就是都共同成立了这个 top portfolio 然后就是今年我们带的这个就每年我们带学生的成绩就我们正式合作应该是从21年秋开始一直到
现在有一个关于那个 arts 和 AI 的讲座，你要不要出来听？是有一个关于 arts，
你可能麻烦要 mute 一下自己好吗？谢谢。对，好，
然后就是我们先简单介绍一下，我们是在那个亚特兰大这边，然后大概我们各自的工作室都是在17年的时候开始创立，就是我是小雪工作室，然后木老师他是木木工作室，那么我们各自有各自的专长，我这边主要是辅导纯艺类和这个动画呀插画设计方面这些，然后木老师是专门做这种设计和这个 digital art 以及包括一些文书的辅导方面。然后那么我大概是19年开始做了这个开始就是涉足于这个艺术类作品集的辅导。那么搬到亚特兰大以后，大概我们21年秋开始，我和孟老师正式开始合作。那么就是各取所长然后那么就迄今为止差不多就进入第4个年头，然后我们也合作了也有2年多的样子，那么带学生成绩都还不错。那么今天因为我们东岸的时间关系，就是我们这边比较晚一些，所以我们想先让学生先介绍一下，分享他们一下经验，好吧？然后后面的时候，我和木木老师在一起，就是共同介绍一下我们自己的工作室的情况呀，然后以及包括往年的学生成绩，以及包括今年学生成绩。然后那这样 Laura， 我先那个 make host 给你，好吧？然后
Sorry, say that again.
对我先 make host 给你好吗？然后你可以、
Okay.
那个你可以先讲好吧
Okay. So I was just going to talk a little bit about my process just in general. Is there anything specifically that you'd want me to cover before I start?
I think overall you probably have 10 minutes. You can talk about your art, the whole process and how you prepare for it. And also I think you have this your strength in my recognition is that your activity has been beyond average. So I would want to really appreciate if you can talk about that.
Okay. Great. So
can you show us your beautiful face, please?
Oh yeah, sorry. Hi.
Good to see you.
Okay, so my name is Laura. I applied to a total of 12 schools and I got accepted into 9 of them, and I am going to be going to SAIC for BFA, and I got into their scholars program with an 100K scholarship. So that's where I'm going to be going. I'm just going to talk a little bit about like how I planned my application process kind of from start to finish. And then I'll go in a little bit about my activities. I'm going to just share my screen real quick.
Yeah, Laura is always here prepared, fully prepared for everything.
Yes. So this is my college document. So I think the biggest advice that I would have that really helped me is to be really, really organized. Because I'll help you meet deadlines and help you make sure everything that you're writing is really good quality and you're not rushing anything last minute. So this is kind of the main part of where I have all the different documents. So this is my activities. It's kind of messy. This is where I like to brainstorm. So this is all of the clubs that I've done, including the community services and the awards and stuff. And this is what I ended up using to make resumes and Common App activities list, and also help brainstorm for what you want to write your essays about. And I recommend starting just making a brainstorming list like as soon as possible, like even now, just taking 20 minutes. Because what I realized was there's a lot of stuff that you've done that you don't realize that is important or impactful because maybe you've done it 2 years ago and it's been a while, and having everything there to see is really helpful. And especially doing that before your senior year of high school, then you're able to see like what clubs you want to focus in on, what clubs you want to get leadership positions and really dedicate your time. So whereas like the first 3 years, I kind of did a little bit of everything. Towards the end, I chose like 2 or 3 clubs I was really passionate about, like environmental club and Asian culture club, and I dedicated a lot of time, and so that looks good too. So I think it's about having a lot of clubs, but also doing a lot within the clubs that you are in. So this here is my spreadsheet for all of the research that I did for all of the colleges I was considering on applying. Some advice that I would have for this is I wouldn't super pay attention to these statistics that I have here, although it was helpful. If I would do anything differently, I would still do research ahead of time. It's really important for when you're applying, but instead, really take the time to think about what are the factors that matter to you when looking for a college. So rather than just like the graduation rate and the acceptance rate, which are both really important, but maybe to you, like location is really important, or like having it be just an art school, or these factors. Having like knowing what you want going into the research process will make it a lot easier for you when you start applying. And then here I have my like calendar. So I kind of went all out, but this is how I like to keep organized. So this is a copy of my planner from mid-December. Here I would mark out all of the deadlines. So I say the biggest thing about college is that you need to be on top of almost right away as soon as applications open August 1st is when your deadlines are, because every school has a different deadline depending if you're doing early or regular, and then they also have different deadlines for your portfolio and your supplemental, and it's very easy to lose track of these things. And so it's good to have all of your important ones bolded. And then I would have daily to-do lists or weekly goals that you don't really see this because this is around Christmas time, but before that I'd have weekly goals and daily to-do lists to keep me on track and make sure that I'm spreading out my workload. So at any time I'm doing a little bit of work rather than cramming all my essays like last minute right here. And so this allowed me to like have a lot of free time to work on those extracurriculars, work on my art, and make sure that I was also doing stuff just outside of writing the essays, because that's really important part of your application. So what I'd suggest is that if you really organize your time and don't procrastinate and start from the beginning, it'll help a lot, like saving time for, I don't know, working on your portfolio, working on extracurriculars, and also just like, you know, doing other stuff in high school. So yeah.
Hi Laura, can you make an admit to the other ones to enter into the meeting?
Oh, I see. This.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't notice that. Okay, is that good?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and then here's my portfolio. I was just gonna show it. But yeah, so I do painting and then mainly, but a little bit of everything. So yep, that's my art. I'm gonna let you be the host now because I'm done talking. And I'm not really sure how to do that, to be honest.
Thank you, Laura.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and also let me know if you have any questions.
Okay, Catherine, I will make an host to you, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was just gonna go through my portfolio. Okay, I'm Catherine Joe. I got into Ringling for animation, for computer animation. I got their Dean's Scholarship, which is 40K spread over 4 years, so it's 10K per year. And I believe that's the highest amount for that specific scholarship. But this is the portfolio that got me in. I used a lot of these works in my other portfolios for other schools as well. So I applied to a total of 6 schools. I got into all 6. And basically I just used these works and just reused them over and over again. Miss Katie helped me order all of this, and the majority of these are actually from her portfolio camp over the summer. So like all of these gesture drawings right here were done last summer with like a live model. So like every day we would do like 5 minute, 10 minute, like 1 minute, 2 minute sketches of a live model, and that kind of helped me just in general improve my technicality. And then we did like long like time portraits of the live models as well. At the end we like did an oil painting portrait. And then Ringling, they like to see a lot more technical work rather than creative work, so that's why the majority of mine is not creative, it's more technical. But at the end of my thing, I did include some more creative work. So this piece, this piece, these actually won first place at Beta Convention last year. And then, but with addition with this third piece, these are part of a series that I did for AP2D last year. And then this is part of my portfolio last year as well. All of these kind of are supposed to talk like reference dualities between different environments. And then at the end of my portfolio, I included, just for fun, it's film photography. I just wanted to show that I have experience in other mediums other than just painting, sketching. So I did this through my school's photo class, and I like took the picture on a film camera, and I developed the film, and then I developed the picture in a darkroom, and it was all like old school. Is there anything specific I should talk about for my case?
I think there are some questions for you. When do you start to prepare portfolio, and how many pieces are required in a portfolio? Does the number vary from school to school?
What? Sorry, repeat that.
In the chat.
So we got a question from June Liang. You see that? In the chat.
Oh, okay.
And the one from Audrey.
Oh, okay, I see. I started to prepare during the summer. The majority of these works were done during the summer, so all the technicality and stuff like this, that was during the summer. Honestly, it started in the summer and went through up until the deadline, because I'm not very good with not procrastinating. I'm very bad time management wise, but I feel like pretty much as long as you can get it done, then it's fine if you procrastinate.
Sometimes you say really bad ones are good, and the really good ones are decent.
And then how many pieces are required in portfolio? It does vary from school to school.
25. Yeah.
Ringling specifically is
Ringling is
25. I think like Pratt comes up to 30, I think.
The other one will be the 20. The maximum
Oh,
is 20 pieces. Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Reading is 25. The half of the portfolio should be the realistic work in reading. Yeah. So the different school have the different requirement.
Oh yeah, and I did want to say that even though you are applying to an art school, you still should focus on academics and extracurriculars because that gets you scholarships pretty easily. So I was involved with a lot of leadership in my school. So I was like president of National Art Honor Society, art director of green school. So these are all my officer positions. I ended up being captain for our girls varsity soccer team. And so I feel like that, in addition to all the awards I got at Beta Club, at Beta conventions, really helped boost my resume for the Dean's Scholarship at Ringling. And I felt, yeah. But this is a list of some of my stats that I thought were important to help.
Okay.
I think that's it.
Okay. So any question to Catherine? Okay. Catherine, you can stop sharing and then return the post to me.
How do I do that?
Yeah, you just return. You can click my my profile. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay, so next one, Kathy 你在哪里 Kathy, where are you? Okay. Okay. Hi, Audrey. Can you listen to me?
Yeah.
OK， 好，Audrey，因为今天他正好 travel，然后所以呢，这样的，我来 share 这个 Audrey 的作品啊，Audrey，那我先 share 你的一些，看看怎么弄啊。OK，let me see.
Aries choose. I'm talking to Baba. Today Aries choose. Hold on.
OK. Hi. Okay, Audrey, you can talk.
Okay, now I'm
Okay.
I'm in mute.
Huh? Okay. My name is Audrey. I got accepted into Rhode Island School of Design, and I got a scholarship worth $94K over 4 years. So it's like 23 or something each year. This piece. This piece is a rubber block printing. I like carved this rubber block that Leo Lasha gave to me, and I rolled ink on it and transferred it to paper. These 4 carvings follow my journey and growth coming of age, where the first panel represents the joys of childhood. Second one is the loss of innocence and falling into depression. The third one is seeking out help from those around me, and the fourth one is acceptance and self-reflection. I'd never worked with carving or like rubber block printing before, but since Leo Lasha introduced this to me, she said that it would work well with my style, and I ended up loving this medium. And I think that trying out new mediums is always a good way to broaden your experiences, and colleges will like to see if you've like or experimented with different mediums and techniques.
Okay, yeah, I will show
next one.
more. Hold on, I will show more. So, let me see. I really like it. Yeah, I really like this one. It's
Your camera is on. I saw my
yeah, I really like this this one. You can tell me about it.
your camera. Is you even mute?
No.
Okay, this work is from my AP art portfolio, and the theme of my AP art portfolio was how I could portray exhaustion using patterns or repeating motifs. This one was inspired by the Great Wave off Kanagawa, which I'm sure you've all seen before. In Hokusai's work, the ocean represents the uncontrollable and unstoppable force of nature. I use this symbolism to show how depression comes in waves and feels unstoppable, wearing down your mental state. I used tissue paper and glue to create texture on the right side of the canvas, and after painting it, I used sandpaper and rubbing alcohol to give it like an erosion effect. Also, for the reference image, it's kind of funny because I just finished like crying from a breakdown, and I thought to myself, like, I can take a picture to save for later as like a reference. So
Okay. Okay, I will show other one.
okay. This work. Okay, this is also a work from my AP art portfolio, and I was inspired by Salvador Dali's The Persistence of Memory. I came up with this piece from my experience pulling all-nighters to finish my work. And I was so sleep deprived, I would like fall asleep almost anywhere despite how much I wanted to keep working. And I physically just like couldn't stay awake.
College in United States. Just talking about her work portfolio. Do you want to
Sorry,
take a look?
could you mute, please? Thank you.
Hello?
I couldn't stay awake any longer, and so even while I slept, I had dreams with a sense of impending doom, like I was panicking and not about like not doing any work. And using these memories, I wanted to portray that like messy, unintentional act of falling asleep with unrealistic, sickly looking colors and a dramatic point of view and setting. It's meant to feel surreal and dreamlike. And again, using that symbolism from Dali's work with the melting clocks, it represents the distorted experience of time that you have while you sleep. And the floor being covered in clocks reminds you of like approaching deadlines.
Okay. So I will show the Audrey, the last piece is about the her processing from the sketchbook. Yeah, so
This was one of my images that I used for AP art. And in both AP art portfolio and a college application portfolio, they'll want to see your process of creating. If you have conceptual works like mine, they'll want to see that process, and especially any planning pages you might have. I had a sketchbook where I compiled like all of my reference images, any ideas that I had, any artists or works that I took inspiration from, and also my experiments with either color schemes or compositions, different techniques, art mediums. these are all things that colleges will like to see if you've experimented with that. And you don't need to do these for like studies or still life, since those works are more to show your technical skill. But if you specifically arranged or chose to draw something of significance to you, you can also mention that. I feel like being able to write and explain your works in college applications is very important. You should, or what I did, I kept a document where I wrote down everything, like what artists inspired me, what I like to draw, and what I like to use to draw. And I was able to experiment or like try out new mediums thanks to Liu because she provided me and she like encouraged me to try out different materials such as that rubber block printing. My advice is to be genuine with your writing when you're writing your college essays, and to try and incorporate any emotions or ideals that are shown in your artwork, like show that in your writing as well, to show that art is like an influential part of your life. And then that's all. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, I can answer those.
Okay. So now, Cassie, are you here? Hi,
Yes,
Cassie.
I am. I am here.
Oh, okay, I will make answer to you. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So if somebody want to enter into the room, you can you admit? Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
You can share screen and show your work and share some experiences about your application. Okay.
Oh, okay. It may take a while because a lot of my pictures are uploaded to my iCloud. And okay, I can share my screen. So this is basically some of my work that I submitted to the portfolios. It might take a while to like open them because they're not downloaded.
Yeah, you can show your favorite work. And you can introduce yourself and which school you will go.
Oh,
yeah.
I am going to Pratt Institute for I'll major in industrial design. And I may minor in psychology because I also like psychology. I think I really like Pratt because it has a nice campus. It's also very close to Manhattan, and I have access to a lot of free museums. So I'll be able to explore New York City during my 4 years staying there. It's also not like, unlike Parsons, which is in the middle of Manhattan, Pratt is in like Upper Brooklyn, which is kind of like a peaceful area in New York, but also very close to Manhattan. It's only like 10 minutes away from Manhattan. So you can like go there very easily, but not it's not as busy as being in the middle of Manhattan. So I'm going there for the next few years.
Can you show that picture? Because I just see the okay.
So this is the furniture that I designed last summer, because I went to the RISD pre-college program last summer, and I had a major in furniture design. So basically during the 6 months there, the furniture design students are going to design an entire furniture and like make it out by hand and using the machines in the woodshop. So this is what I designed. It's a cloud shaped bench and has light on it. The light can change colors. And when you sit on it, it feels like you are sitting on a cloud because the legs are transparent. And the shape of the transparent plexiglass is kind of like a rainbow. So I titled it Sunny Rain. Oh, it was my previous title. I changed the title to Childhood Dream because I always dreamed of sitting on a cloud as a child. And I have read it somewhere. When a child dreaming of flying or sitting on a cloud, it means you are physically growing or developing. So that kind of shows off the development, like the psychological development and like growth. Yeah, that's for this piece. The next one is called Perception Echoes. It is basically a box, and it's also a piece that I did in the RISD pre-college program for my design foundation class. So it's this box, I just reused it from one of my Amazon purchase, and I like to use a lot of reflective material in my work that you can see later. I really like to use the soft reflective surfaces to give that kind of surrealist feelings to my work. And this so the prompt for this assignment was perception. So this piece was inspired by a philosophical story called Plato's Cave. So it's basically about some cavemen living in the cave who have never seen outside world, and they can only see the shadows of the outside. And I feel like we are kind of living in that as well, because we can never tell what reality is real, you know. So in this piece, the reflector surface, you can see your face in it, and the separate organs like the eyes and the nose to show how like distorted the reality might be. And here's also a detail shot of it. The next one is called Home. My teacher really my professor at the RISD pre-college program really liked this work. It's made up of recycled. Sorry, it's taking a long time to load. It's made up of recycled water bottles, and I just used the hot glue gun to melt the plastic and put them together to make a kind of a garden kind of thing. And it's interactive, so when you use your flashlight on your phone, you can create the shadow however you want. You can make it big or small, so it's kind of like you are making the flowers grow. This is one of the videos. Yeah, it's like it shows the impact of human on Earth, how you can impact the environment by your actions. And it also shows the contradiction of because the flower is very fragile, it dies very easily, but the plastic lasts forever, so that there's a contradiction in this piece. And the next one, I think this is in my portfolio, but it's also in my AP portfolio as well. It's a self-portrait of me daydreaming, I kind of fell in love with the medium of soft pastel because it's very like soft and foggy. I smudged a lot of the items in the back intentionally to create that kind of dreamy feelings, and like the color I also made it to be like very neon and very pastel to make that kind of dreamy feeling, I guess. And this one is also a self-portrait. It's called Peekaboo. I used white charcoal or white chalk on black paper, and I want to show like the childhood game of Peekaboo using this. And I kind of explored doing texture in this piece. Okay, I don't think I'll go over all of my pieces. I'll just choose some to talk about. This next one is an oil painting of a frog in a pot of oil that I did I think a few years ago. It shows the environmental destruction and how human impacts the habitat of wild animals. This next one is also a soft pastel piece. It's basically a baby factory. So like the babies are being processed on the product line. It's taking a while to open. Okay, so the babies are being processed on the in the factory. It shows how like the society dehumanizes or like kills in the individuality or the creativity of each one of us, and how you lose all your emotion over the time. So like from far away, the babies are crying, but as they get close to you, they just lose their emotion and stare at you. The next one. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's called Illuminating. It's a
Why?
it's a
其他人能不能 mute 一下，不要，
Turn up the
因为这边都在讲话。
洗都想死，每天洗很累的。
It's a charcoal piece, and I used eraser to get the shape of heart, and added a lot of moth around it to show how the bright heart can attract moth. So basically it's a self-portrait without the face of yourself. So I want to, it's kind of my aspiration to become someone with such a warm and bright heart that can almost attract moth. And there are also some observational drawings. So you are encouraged to do some observational drawings like these three. I think I'll talk about this one. It's a heart inside of a TV. I had those ideas. I really recommend you write down your ideas when you have them. So for me, the ideas come at a very random time. I may just like suddenly have that idea somewhere, and I will write it down on my journal so later I can create it. So I had this random idea, and I told my dad about it, about heart being in a TV. So I taught him to look for a TV for me. So he found this TV in a dumpster, which is very lucky because the TV looks really good. So I got this TV and we disassembled it together. And I put the reflective surface in there. And I got a hard model and put some glitter on it and put it in the TV. And it shows how so my original intention was to show teenage confusion. It's like during the teenage year, we often have confusion about who we are and what we are thinking and what we really want to do. Like these questions bother me a lot of time, like what I'm really thinking. I don't know what I want. So I sometimes I feel like I really want to like see my heart clearly and as easily as you can watch your heart in a TV. But different people have different like interpretation of it. So that's only my original intention. So I've put this on a grass in my neighborhood and took this picture during the golden hour to show like how the heart can radiate. Oh, there's also light in it. There's a video. I don't know if it will load. The color can change. The light can change colors. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like a TV with a heart in it. And I also put the string lights around the back of the screen, so you won't see the light, but you can see like the color change. That's it for this piece. And this piece is also one of my favorite. It's a huge box. So I also used reflective material in this. So I have been keeping a writing journal for 5 years now, and I write journals every day. So in this piece, I got a huge box and put a lot of mirrors in it, some soft mirrors, and hang up a lot of my diary pages, and also put string lights. Sorry, it froze. So to show how like my past made up who I am today, and how like these past are like so distant from me. They're almost like this because sometimes when I read my past journal, it feels like it's not written by me, and they're like very far. The memories are so far away. I put a lot of effort into this piece. Let's see. Oh, I also made this. it's an architecture design. So I used SketchUp and Photoshop to
Recording in progress.
So it's a shelter design. It's a stray cat shelter for it's a shelter for stray cats. And I designed this on SketchUp. So it's basically a public architecture thing that can be put in a park. So it's good to show the variety of the things that you can do in your portfolio. Also this one, I think it should be the last piece. I have been talking too much. This one is a folded kind of like comics. So I use squash and gold leaves to make this piece. It can also be folded, so it's kind of like a storybook. This was inspired by my childhood fantasy because I always heard I always see the moon following me, and I was wondering if the moon follows everyone else. So I asked other people and they have the same experience. So they see the moon following them everywhere they go. So I thought there are a lot of moons and they follow, and yeah, everyone has their own moon and it just follow the person. So it's inspired by that. Yeah, that's basically it. Thank you for listening.